And welcome back, everyone. So glad to see you all again in the winds of winter. What what the fuck happened last time? Anyone want to explain that to me? Anybody want to explain what the fuck happened last time?
I almost killed you, Vane.
Guys,
I
I'm
would
out
have
of
succeeded too.
after she almost killed you.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
fair.
it's only
That's
fair.
fair.
We're back on even now.
I'm out of pages in my notebook, guys. I didn't realize that.
Oh,
Time to
Shit.
get
new
Kill
notebook.
him.
This is the wrong time to realize that. Okay, my first note from last time is Scythe is hot? Question mark?
Yeah.
Because Scythe was hot?
Good note. Good note.
question marks.
Followed by this was a bad choice.
One of my notes is Belle is such a good friend and he needs a hug, but also how dare he, parentheses, life transference.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. If you want to say that.
It's all fine.
I yelled at him about it.
I put a threat on the safety of Scylla's asshole.
That was true.
Uh-huh. Captain Three Earrings we didn't like them much at all. I didn't.
We finally used some of our health potions.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Belle, yeah, you walked into the captain's quarters with just
I
like
was
a
hot.
massive chip
Yep.
on your shoulder.
upset. I am small, much anger.
How do you fit so much Angie in such a small package?
Such a small person. And then I skipped a bunch of stuff, I think, because my last thing is we made it eventually.
Oh,
then-
I spent so
like,
much money to
I
get
was
us.
say, like I know what happened in the middle, but I
50
just
gold
didn't write it
each.
down.
I was highway robbed to get us back home.
Man, there's a little tugboat.
I will say 5 stars on Uber though. He didn't speak to
Yeah,
us the entire
didn't say a
time.
2
word
days.
the whole time. What a guy.
So yeah, last session began with a very difficult conversation between Yvain and the rest of the party, while trying to figure out what the hell happened with Yvain and her just kind of snapping. You guys deduced that it was down to their new scythe, and you were able to tear the scythe away from Yvain, and in doing so, seemingly set into effect a chain reaction that caused Yvain an excruciating amount of pain and damage. You guys were quick thinking with healing potions and magic on hand, and Bell even discovering a new ability of his. We're able to maintain Yvain, the pain, and
In pain.
In pain. Of pain.
we're able to keep her alive. The next morning, you were the pirates, or should we say sailors? You didn't really know if they were pirates or not. The sailors that you ended up whose ship you ended up on did not endear themselves to you very much off the bat, and you guys decided to deny their captain's request to help get vengeance for the town of Palma Flora and potentially make some coin along the way, and were set adrift on a rowboat in the middle of the Lucidian Ocean. Scylla wild shaped into a shark and dragged you guys to land, where you ended up on the on Broken Bank, an island, part of the one of the archipelagos that surrounds the bay that Port Damali is a part of. You found your way back to Port Damali by way of a very cranky old man who grossly overcharged you for his use of his tugboat. Again, though, 5 stars on Uber. Never said a word to you. Dropped you off at the docks in Port Damali, and then just headed right back
Fucked
on
right
out to
off.
sea. And that is where we left it last time. You guys are standing on the docks of Port Damali. You guys have been gone for now about 3 days. Going on, this would have been the 4th day that you would have been gone. You guys have got about 2.5 weeks before the week of the wedding. You know that that you are about well, you don't know exactly how far you are from Phelan at this point, but you know that is your destination to be made in 2 weeks. But yeah, currently you are all tired, wet, unwashed, probably a little hungry, and still trying to decompress and deal with all of the things you experienced in the last few days. It's been the 2 days that it took from Broken Bank back to Port Damali. But because, by the way, it was probably a trip that could have taken a day, but his just bullshit ship was so goddamn slow.
We're in a tugboat in the ocean.
Yeah.
You don't put a tugboat in the ocean.
Yeah. Yeah. So he
One
it
wave,
was
one
you
big
had
wave.
you had some time to kind of like, decompress and think. And that is something I wanted to ask. During those 2 days, each of you, what were the main things on each of your minds during those 2 days? I'm going to start with Belle. During the 2 days on the ship on the boat back to Port Damali, what was the thing that was on Belle's mind the most?
Well, so the thing is, the first probably 36 of the 48 hours were spent with just the base undertone of panic, just like the sort of the reality that we're on the ocean in a tugboat, and as was just discussed, that is a bad choice. Was just kind of existing in the back of my head the whole time. And so once we kind of shifted focus away from that just a little bit, it probably was the fact that we were pretty hungry with not so great food on hand to really sort of start to right me. While yes, he got 5 stars on Uber from us for not talking, drove me a little crazy because, like, how the fuck are you going to sit still for 2 full days and not just say a fucking word the whole time? So depending on how interactive my 2 friends here would have been, I probably would have spent a little bit of time trying to imagine this cranky old fuck's life story, what it might have looked like, come up with a couple of really sort of strange tales associated with him, also trying to distract myself from the fact that we're on a tugboat in the middle of the ocean. Think a little bit about the fact that I just about how fucking irritated I was with the captain. Think about how the fact that we threw the evil scythe thing into the ocean probably won't come back to bite us in the ass ever, because nothing ever does. And then particularly in the evenings, probably would have just kind of quietly to myself as much as I could, talked a little bit to my dad under my breath, just kind of looking around at my compass. But past the more immediate perils, the weight of the world wasn't really present sitting in the middle of the ocean for me. It was just kind of in a weird way, a peaceful and isolating sort of thing that pulled me out of the constant, barrage of, oh fuck, we're gonna die again and again, constantly.
Yeah. In a moment of trying to face your fears, in a moment of severe, like one of those high waves of anxiety where it just makes you feel like, oh god, oh god, oh god, you decide, okay, I'm just gonna face it. I'm just gonna face it for 1 second. I'm just gonna try. And you look out at the water, and it's deceptively calm. And you know that it's deceptively calm because you know what's under there. And you look out though, and it's just nothing but water. It's soft white clouds playing over the horizon, the glassy surface reflecting the sun, the soft lap of waves on the hull. And as you're looking, trying to almost having your brain remind yourself how terrifying it all is, you kind of realize that you're having to remind yourself how terrifying it is. And that if you just take a second, it's actually quite peaceful.
Yeah.
Maybe if it wasn't for the tons of millions of beasts
Right, yeah.
swarming beneath the surface. But anyway,
Yeah.
maybe for that one
They're all
moment,
fucking down there. Yeah.
maybe for that one moment, you were able to find a small sliver of peace in the ocean.
Mm-hmm. I probably also would have taken a second and tried to not recreate, not really figure anything out, but like think about the weird shit that I just did with Yvain, like trying to figure out what that was. Because like I got tired, and I get tired doing magic, but it was a different kind of tired. So
go ahead and
no.
Erica and Alex, what do you think? Insight or Arcana? What do you guys think? I don't want his DMness to get in the way of his characters.
I would say insight.
I would also
because
say
he knows
insight,
nothing
yeah.
about magic, so Arcana wouldn't help him either way.
That's what I was going for. I'm glad I had that confirmed. Belbin, please make an insight check for me.
You got it. 13.
Okay. You're thinking, and you're thinking, and you're thinking a lot.
Dangerous bastard.
And it's just like this complex, all these complex things, like I have a font of magic within me. Perhaps I can sparse out little bits of it and just give it to people and just, maybe just take this little font of magic within me and just give pieces of it in different ways to different people and help them figure their shit out, and maybe then they can leave me to figure my shit out. And you're just kind of going in that little circle in your head, just like, okay, if I can just take pieces of this font of this font of magic, then maybe I can do things with it. But it's like you begin visualizing that kind of spring of magic within you, that kind of like little like fountain of magical essence. And you're just thinking, okay, just grab a little cup of it, give it to this person. Grab a little cup of this, give it to this person.
Guys, I'm a fucking beer keg.
Bell has been silent for 8 hours, and this is the first word he says. Well, as he makes that clear, Yvain, for the last 2 days that you guys were on the ship, what was the main thing on Yvain's mind?
This is a small tugboat, but she still probably would have tried her best to have just been away for a bit and quiet. And she probably spirals and stews for a little while, but afterwards she's gonna come out of it. She'd probably at some point notice how tense and uncomfortable Belle is, and in the evening time she would probably kind of scooch up next to him and sit down And she would rummage through the bag of holding, and she has rations. So she would pull out a ration, and she would kind of like look, like make a big deal of looking around, and she would lean down next to him and go, Alvin,
Yeah.
I've got a secret snack. And she would hand him some of her ration. Don't tell Zilla
Ursula, what?
about the secret snack.
Yeah. Where did you get this from?
The bag of holding. I bought rations, remember?
Can we get some of the street food from Fort Tamale and put it in the bag of holding and like keep it as...
It probably wouldn't be very fresh.
I don't understand how the bag works. So
It would rot. It needs to be like, you know, like jerky or dried fruit or something.
oh, we should get some of
Yeah.
that. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I got us stuck on this boat.
It's okay. I was actually gonna talk to you about that. But I think you know. I want you to know that I value your friendship very much. So that this is coming from a place of love. I wish someone had given me this advice when I was young. You are entitled to your anger. It's typically well earned and deserved. And you should let yourself feel it, and you should absolutely try to understand where it comes from. However, you also can't let it take over your senses and fuck you over, because it's never just fucking you over. Other people get caught in the crossfire. And believe me, nobody understands that better than me. Three Rings was a cunt, don't get me wrong, and she deserved the tongue lashing that you gave her. But the boat and the ration spell, that was a kindness. She could have thrown us off, or she could have put us in the brig, and that would have started a fight that I absolutely would have finished. If anybody had laid a hand on you, I would have killed them. But there were tired, scared refugees on that boat, and they would have gotten caught in it.
Yeah, I know you're right. And normally, I would probably disagree that insert other person here knows better than anyone. But given recent circumstance, I would actually agree that you probably do know best on that one. So,
oh yeah, I do.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know you're right.
Hey, what you said on the deck when I was out of my mind
Which
about
time?
me being more than just a punching bag that punches back.
Oh, yeah. That would be terrifying, by the way. Punching bag that punches back, that's fucking awful.
I don't know if I wholly believe that about myself just yet, because I'm still trying to understand who I am outside of that part of my identity.
Fair enough.
But I believe in you. And as long as we're together, I'm gonna strive to live as the version of me that you see. So keep me in check, I'll keep you in check.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that. You know, it's a lot more confidence than most people give me most of the time. Do you have a specific recommendation for how to keep you in check in moments of heat? Because for you, it's probably pretty easy because you can just kind of like move me elsewhere. You're literally 3 times as big as I am in height alone. So
Oh, this is dark. Don't be afraid to hurt me if you need to.
hey,
Also, for the love of the gods, don't let me buy any more magic weapons.
I mean, that's fair. I don't know that we bought that one, but we probably should have had Mr. Purple Man look at it. Oh well. Yeah. I mean, I can make the same threat to you that I made to Scylla the other day. That I will punch you directly in the asshole. But
You couldn't reach that far.
yeah, that's a little higher on you. And typically my the ability for me to hurt someone comes more in their emotions than the actual physical sense, but I'll probably come up with something. Get a rock or something, drop it on your foot.
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
got a bad knee. It's my right one. You just kick it real hard.
I can't get my foot up that high. Come on now. Yeah, no, I know you're right. And again, I'm sorry that we're here because of my outburst, but
My was almost fucking killed like a lot of people. You're fine.
right, yeah. I mean, we live in a weird string of outbursts, huh?
Yeah.
I'm excited to go
Pineapple?
to a wedding.
Speaking of the wedding, Scylla, for the last 2 days on the boat, what has been on Scylla's mind predominantly?
Oh, she feels extremely guilty. She's like, she's been like, I think she found a spot on the deck, and I think she just laid down on it, like fully, like Ellie's walking over her face and is like, kind of like she still is lying on the deck,
Guys, I
and
really think you are grossly overestimating the size of this tugboat.
she is lying somewhere if wherever she's sitting, but she's
Yvain
not
wants to
standing
be
up.
across the deck and like brooding alone. Scylla
The
wants to
only
be
tugboat I
lying
know is the
down,
one from
spread
Disney
eagled.
World.
Literally, Yvain, you're on the tip of the boat, literally just like leaning away, like crying, and you are just like laying across the back. Like that's.
Yes.
But anyway,
But
yeah.
she's like, she's laid up there. I have a feeling like the first night, you guys like see her doing that, and then you go to sleep and you wake up and you find her in the same exact spot. Um, so I'm feeling Scylla doesn't sleep for that first night, because she's just like, uh, a lot happened, and she feels it's a very weird concoction of emotions because she feels vindicated that something she was right, that something bad was happening, but then feels guilty about the fact that she was right, that something bad was happening, and then she feels good that she got the thing away from her, but then also that killed her. So it's been this almost killed her. So it's been like this like unending circle she's been in, with her cat trying to hit her in the face every once in a while.
Your ESA.
Yeah. Um, until probably the until probably like the last night, Scylla, like her eyes are like bloodshot, and she's like, and like just drags herself over to where your vein is, 4 steps away, and and just if she's like leaning against the railing, she'll like fully like put her back against the wall and just sit down next to her. Um, and just be quiet for like 2 minutes, like fully seeing if she'll break the silence or if she'll have to. Um,
Yvain will just kind of just lean into your shoulder a little bit. Hey,
I,
how you doing?
well, I'm really tired at this point.
Yeah, you should sleep.
I will in a moment. Because oh boy, I owe you an apology.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Even if whatever was happening with the fucking scythe and however whatever was happening, I reacted the same way I fear you will react when that happens to me. You, I'm not sure how much you remember what happened, but begged me, you begged me not to take that scythe from you. And all I saw was someone trying to hurt me. I didn't see my friend. I didn't see someone I trust. I fell back on bad habits of exactly what fucking happened to Rael. And I tore it away from you and almost fucking killed you. So, yes, I do owe you apology. Whatever the extenuating circumstances are, I am sorry.
Stella, you saved my life. And listen, I'm not judging you for whatever you felt in that moment. I was terrifying and out of my mind. And you knew. Your intuition told you something was wrong. And although it hurt me initially, it helped in the end. You freed me. I was stuck to whatever that thing was. And I hope to the gods that it's gone.
You just jinxed it. You jinxed it so bad.
Sorry.
Okay.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you for anything you did in that moment. I wouldn't have blamed you if you'd killed me.
You know I wouldn't do that. As many times as you say we should. I heard you fucking say it to Belbin the other night. It's not a big boat. You need to stop saying that.
Listen, I just this is a deep-seated fear of mine now. Will it help if I say I forgive you? Would it help more if I say I never blamed you in the first place?
You know me. Probably not, but maybe in the moment.
I'm sorry that I couldn't fight it.
I mean, I unfortunately very much understand the feeling, but I can't. I was going to offer you some advice on how to deal with it, but obviously I have not found the best way to deal with it either. So, unfortunately, this seems like a trauma bonding situation for us once again.
Belle.
The night continues on. The two of you continue your conversation or go back to sleep, but the memory of that moment fades, and as we return to the present, you all have stepped back onto the docks of Port Damali. It is it's a cold day. The fall is well the fall season. No, wait, no, sorry, that was back on Taldore. That's a different continent. It is actually pretty warm here.
We are in a tropical climate.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just like, I once took a vacation to visit my aunt in Costa Rica during Christmas, and it was the hottest Christmas I have ever experienced in my life. Oh my god. Anyway, so yeah, it's a very warm day. Sun is bright and shining. A couple of clouds in the sky. It's about, I'd say, maybe about 90 degrees in the sun. Not too hot, but definitely could use a nice cold drink, maybe. But you guys are tired, sweaty, sticky, just hungry, exhausted, traumatized, still trying to figure out what the hell's going on. So, what would you all like to do from here?
So, who do we need to talk to?
What are we gonna talk to that the
The
flying Pegasus people?
Port Authority?
Well, that's a good start. I have a feeling we're the first people back from this, or at least
Someone with a badge.
yes.
Are you guys like looking around the docks for one?
I'm asking Scylla, where is it? Where do we
Scylla?
need to go? You live here.
Would Scylla know if just finding a random guard would help them, or they should go to like the station?
I would say you spent most of your life here trying to avoid um anyone in uniform, so you don't know too much about it besides where they like to hang out.
Um,
And
I didn't talk to a whole lot of authorities when I was a kid, unless I was being forced to talk to authorities. So, um, I think, is there like any like hustle and bustle on the dock right now? Like, does anyone know
yes,
what's happening? Yeah.
yes, there's the usual hustle and bustle of, the docks, as Port Damali is a port city and is one of the places where many shipments come in from around the world and many shipments go out to around the world. So there is that usual hustle and bustle. However, there does seem to be a bit of extra somewhere. There are what look to be boats um, uh, carrying building materials that don't seem to be stored or covered in the sense that it would be for long trips. There would seem to be an extra number of guards present. There are definitely more of the Celezo walking around than you're used to seeing here in the Larboard Light District. You do also know that the Marquis's office, the Marquis being Marquis Alyssa Laputus, you do know that the Marquis's office is in this district. So if there was any place to go, that's probably the top. That's like the top ranking office in the city. No one goes above the Marquis that is in the city.
Okay. We could go try to talk to the Marquis. I don't know. Authority is annoying, but we can see if they will speak to us.
I mean, surely if people walk in and say, "Hey, we came from the city that sank," they'd go, "Oh, what would you like to tell us?" And then we go, "Well, here's the thing, right?"
We can always try, and if they do not see us, Mrs. Alvarado is probably high enough in the church to get someone's attention for us. So we'll see what happens.
It works, yeah. I mean, I expect our stop following this one is going to be their house one way or another. So
I have a feeling they are freaking out a little bit, and I am trying to be very mature and say we go to the Marquis first.
that's probably a good choice.
Yeah.
We can run there
Told you.
afterwards if you want, just like full sprint. Well, you guys can run there if you want afterwards. I can't keep up. So
You can carry me there afterwards. It's
yeah.
fine. So, are you heading to the Marquis's office or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you have a vague idea of where this is. You ask a guard, and they're able to give you more specific directions. You arrive at the building, and it's a large kind of very official looking structure. Tiny of pillars and vaulted roofs. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's a bit bombastic. Uh, uh, and you head in and you see that there are three different. You come into a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a foyer, and there are three different corridors that lead off of this foyer. There's one leading to the right, one leading to the left, and one leading straight down behind. You also see a what looks to be a half elven young woman, maybe 19 years old, if that, sitting at the desk, and she is like looks like she's going through some papers and like chewing some gum or something. Um, and she looks up to as you guys. How can I help you?
Hi. We need to file a report, I think is probably
If
the
you're
right
looking
thing to
for
do.
if you're looking for the offices of the law, you take a right here. And she points down to the office to your right, or down to the corridor down the right.
If we were trying to file like a police report, is that where we need to go?
That would be the place to go if you're looking for the Celezo.
Great. Thank you.
Of course. Goes back to whatever she was doing. You head down this hallway, and you reach what looks like another foyer. But it's slightly smaller. Definitely no vaulted ceilings and no off-leading corridors. There are one or two doors that do lead off from it. Again, there are several kind of hard wooden chairs lining the walls and set in a couple of rows on one side. And there's a desk that stands in front of one of the doors as well. Sitting in some of those chairs are a number of people, most of whom I don't think you would recognize. And you see behind the desk sitting another half young, half elven. This time he's a male. Again, couldn't be more than 19. Added maybe. Very baby face, has just a little bit of scrub coming in. But he's just sitting there, and he seems to be diligently reading something. So what would you guys like to do here?
Bing.
He looks up. Oh, yes. Sorry. What can I do for you?
That's all right. So we are coming from Palmaflora. We were there when
Stop.
okay.
And he reaches under his desk, pulls out a stack of parchment, and just say, "Okay, how many statements are we taking?"
Do you need one from each of us, or is one from the three of us?
How many are you providing? How many of you are providing a statement?
Can we do it as a team?
Sure, that's fine.
Yes, one from the three of us.
He pulls out a stack of parchment, hands it to you. Okay, go ahead and fill this out, and just set it in this little box here. And he taps a box and he taps a little like kind of rectangular depression in his desk that is currently overflowing with looks like dozens of these packets. And he's like, just leave this here, and we will do our best to get back to you and contact you when we can when we process your.
Is there anyone higher up we can speak to? Because we do in fact have information about why and how this is happening.
I understand that we've had a lot of people coming in with information about the Palmaflora incident. We are going to get to it all as soon as we possibly can, but we need a way to record all of the information now while our leading brass is currently out in the field trying to solve the issue. So
we have information for your leading brass.
I'm sure you have
about
very
what's
important
happening.
information. Please note it down here, and we will get to it as soon as we can.
I'm going.
Sounds good. Do we need to file a separate report if we would have information for what the likely next move will be of the individuals responsible for said incident?
Any information regarding Palmaflora you can put in that packet.
Right. This would be regarding the next place they're going to hit.
Any information regarding what happened with Palmaflora or what could be happening going forward, go ahead and put in there.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Sure thing. Now, if you'll excuse me, he goes back to like filling out whatever he was.
This is why I do not come in here. They're so annoying.
You're given like a bit of parchment and ink and stuff to write with.
Wow, this is fucking terrible.
So yeah, I guess the
Yes.
three of you just sit there while
Yeah, we'll
Bell
sit down.
fills out this. Bell, it is 25 pages. It is 20 pages of questions and 5 pages of blank stuff for you to fill out.
Sorry, could I get a few more pages? Just the blank ones, please.
Hands you more paper.
Thank you.
Okay, so after about an hour and a half, you guys, yeah, Yvain and Scylla, you guys have made good progress in the holes you're pounding in the wall with your head.
Mhm.
And Bell, you're getting a bit of carpal tunnel, but it's done.
Yeah, yeah. I think this is probably good enough for them, considering this will get looked at in about 4 weeks. We should probably tell our good friend the Alvarados about what's going on as well. Thank you so much. You've been so helpful. We will hopefully never have to see you again, because that would mean we were back here for a different reason.
Doesn't even look up.
I hate all of you.
Doesn't even look up.
Scylla's standing in the middle of a police station going, fuck the police.
And none of them care.
Nope.
I don't care.
All right. So you guys head back out to that foyer area and exit back out to the street. Okay.
Right.
What would you guys like to do now? You guys have filed your police report.
We're following the.
This is killing me in my soul. You. Ugh.
Hey, man. Heroes getting somebody else to do it.
Listen,
You will
man.
not guilt us into doing this quest, Mac.
No, it's fine.
Everyone's garden's got to get weeded. Doesn't mean we have to do all of them. So
Don't worry.
They
These
got a
chickens will
whole
go-
police force.
Hey, how much pull do you think Miss Alvarado has?
Gold?
No,
Pull.
pull. Sorry.
Oh, pole.
I'm using
I was like,
slang.
probably a lot. I
How
mean,
much
I
heat
think it
does he have
depends on.
backstage?
I mean, I think I think I wouldn't say like all the way up to like the fancy rich people, but probably enough to at least have information sent down that's not through that fuck.
I mean, fair enough. I feel like we should
Yeah.
tell her. And like, I don't know how realistic it really is. I don't know which one of us would know the most about this, but like, if we just like go back up to the skyport and we just like wave at the big shiny people in the sky, or like try and get does the skyport have a dockmaster? Try and get the people who run the place up there to like flag one of them down. We could be like, hey, just so you know, this is probably going to be a problem. We filed a police report, but fuck the
Police are
ground, right?
useless.
But I don't know if they give a shit about anything that happens out of the sky.
The one that we met when we were traveling, maybe if we throw his name around. Bamus? What's his name?
I don't know. He was kind of a prick, but you know, he was all right.
Mockingbird, Elion Bamus.
Well, there you go. I mean, yeah, like again, there are 3 of us. We can't stop an army. So
Yep.
um
Order of operations, where are we going first?
shower.
I say the Alvarados. I think we all deserve a pie.
Also that.
Talk to them.
God, I want a pie.
He makes pies for people up. Maybe he has more pull than
Maybe we could get him to
I finally found the original name for that character, by the way. It was Mauro. I was just like, I knew it was something cool, but I couldn't find it. I finally did.
Italiano.
So you mentioned going home, and there is like a slight panicked look in Yvain's eyes. Because she's thinking about if Miss Alvarado finds out what she did, she's going to die or not.
No, it'll be fine.
That's a good question. It'll be fine. That's a great question.
pie and showers.
Yeah, I feel like Scylla has the highest passive perception in this group, but is like ignores the panic look.
Okay.
I'm not doing this right now.
I'm not time for this
I
right
You
now.
can't fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys head back to the beaded through the Gilded Esplanade into the Crescents, where Hannah Alvarado and her husband Mauro live. And you get back, knock on the door, and it's a kind of very flour covered. His salt and pepper hair is like almost dyed white with the flour, and he's got a bright green apron on that's also covered in who knows what, but is a very dusty Mauro that opens the door and goes, "Oh, Scylla, your friends, come in. You're home you're home a little late. I was Palma Flora."
Have
And
you
he,
not?
Hmm?
It's gone.
I'm sorry, what?
It sank.
This, what did the ship, the ferry that you
The
took to Palma
the
Flora?
island.
No, the whole island is gone.
Which island?
Palma Flora. It was attacked by Sargon.
Wow, oof, my gods,
That's why it took us so long to get back here.
I've been in the kitchen.
It smells like it.
I have had an order that has been keeping me busy, but I'm, wow.
No, I'm very jealous that you have not heard any of this. I'm
I
sorry we broke
suddenly-
that news to you.
I suddenly realize I have not seen my wife in a few days. I should probably figure out. That would probably be why I have not seen her. She's probably knee deep in bullshit right now. Please, well, are you okay? Are you all right? You all survived this ordeal, eh?
I feel like Scylla's clothes are like covered in blood. like
We're all smelly and bloody and just
Well, come. I make you something to eat, and we get you cleaned up, eh? Come on. And he ushers you all into his kitchen, and you guys tell him all sorts of what exactly happened as he's making you a delicious breakfast of eggs, sausages, a side of like flapjacks and potatoes. But
shoveling.
after you guys have eaten your fill, he says, "Well, Hannah should be at the temple, but I think she should be back a little later tonight if you don't want to go looking for her. But I have to say, I don't know how much she could do for with this information you intend to give her. She's, she's a very well respected cleric, and especially in the Temple of Serenray. But I don't know about how much pull she will have outside of the temple. But
I mean,
knows, you could
honestly,
try.
to a certain extent, it's more just like getting the information into different hands of people.
That's not the
Like-
19-year-old fake cop.
Nobody wants.
Right.
Yes, nobody wants to deal with this. It's everybody's trying to find somebody else to give.
Yeah,
It's
right.
It seems
What's
like
new?
big problem. But
Yeah, probably.
well, you have beds here. You can stay as long as you like. I'm sure Hannah would not have an issue with this. But yes, I'm so sorry. I must get back into my kitchen. But if there's
course,
anything
yeah.
else you need, please do not hesitate to ask. I'm just here downstairs. Our mi casa su casa, eh? Yes. He just kind of awkwardly bows out and goes back to his kitchen.
What language is that, guys? I've never heard that
I don't
before.
fucking know.
He's speaking a dialect of Kinau,
Mhm.
or a
Kinau.
dialect of
Naush.
Naush. He is Kinau. He's speaking a dialect of Naush.
So, do we want to go through the streets again, or is it like nap time?
I mean, Silly, you sure seem like you are about to fall asleep where you're
I have not
standing.
slept. I do not think in 3 days.
Right. How about we go ahead and we just like write ourselves a little note here, leave it on the table, be like, hey, we're here, we're not dead, it's all good. We would like to tell you about everything that happened, and hopefully you can give us some guidance on what the fuck we should be doing with this information, and or do something with the information yourself. XOXO, love you, mom. And then we go take a nap.
That sounds great. That sounds really good. That sounds amazing.
Okay, I'm sure. I hope somebody wrote that down because I can't remember what I just said. So,
Well, since you've been doing a lot of writing today, I'll fucking take care of it then.
it's just thank you.
So you all go clean yourselves up. You guys
Shower
take
sounds so
baths,
nice.
showers, you bathe, you wash, you rest, and just basically 24 hours pass. We'll just say
I
you
feel
guys
like
here.
I do
Here's
feel like one thing.
please, please, please.
After Stella takes her shower or her bath or whatever, she's on such I am so tired, I am an autopilot that she doesn't realize what she's doing. She heads straight to Rael's room, steals clothes from her,
Yes.
and just passes out on her bed. Like doesn't even realize.
You wake up tucked in. Like you fell asleep you just collapsed on the bed and fell
On
asleep.
the covers, yeah.
You wake up tucked in with a clean set of clothes set out on the table next to you.
I
But
stole her good sweatpants.
here's the thing. You guys basically now have free time to do with as you please up until you guys are ready to either travel or explore something. So it's up to you what you guys would like to do from this point. After this point. So let's just say you have about maybe 3-4 days before you really have to start like getting things ready to go if you don't want to leave early. So what would you guys like to do in that time?
So just to recap, everybody, let's get our fucking planner out here and just make sure we are all on the same schedule. So we have this wedding, right?
Mhm.
We're going to that. If we leave in a few days, we will get there on time. We had talked about leaving a touch early to get there, a touch early, so that when inevitably we get, fucking thrown into, I don't know, a pit or something, we can get out and still get there on time.
So as you guys are discussing this,
Mhm.
the distance from Port Damali to Phelan is, let me see. Oh wait, no, no.
It is several.
They just had to be fancy, right? They couldn't just get fucking married at home.
Yeah, it couldn't
No.
just be like down the fucking street or something.
So it's 164 miles on foot by land.
Mm-hmm.
Yummy.
That would be about 8.5 days. So
and it's in 2 weeks, is that right?
Yeah, it's yes.
2-ish weeks.
Okay.
By sea, it is significantly it's about 140 miles, so about 20 miles less, and it takes only about a day and a half. Depending on what it can take, anywhere from about a week, a little under a week, to
Didn't we say that we couldn't cross Mother's Reef? Wasn't that a thing we talked about? We were like, we can't go across there or a boat will wreck.
That's it. That's right. I'm sorry. So yeah, it is completely sorry. Yep, we had this conversation. I completely.
You were saying it. I was like remembering. I was having
it has been
visions of the past.
So it has been such a fucking week, you guys.
That's fair. That's fair.
Such a fucking week. So yeah, it's gonna take about, you calculate it out, and you'd need to go from here through the forest, Gilded Roadway, down to the coast, south of the plum groves all the way to Phelan. Be about
I think
160-ish miles. Take you about 8.5 days. If
I think
you
we
guys
decided to go by land before even the
Yeah.
Saugan
Yeah,
attacked.
we got the horses with us.
Yeah, we gotta use
do
them.
you guys still
There-
have the horses?
Yeah,
They're
they're
always
at the
coming
neighbor's
with
house.
us.
Oh my god. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we leave in a few days, we'll get there a couple days early. In theory, fucking theory's a motherfucker.
We should probably leave early.
And then after that, we have to go to a castle in the woods or a mountain. A
Oh,
castle
yeah.
on a mountain.
Castle on a mountain.
Yeah, that's further away than that, I think.
Scylla knows where that is. I can't remember.
We talked about there's like a jungle or something.
Yeah, it's in the.
Is it not the Sirius end? Wasn't it like we were like, oh, we have to keep going?
I thought it was way further than that.
Or is
but
it in
I might be making it up.
the jungle all the way down here? I thought I
Excuse me.
remembered
It
mountain
is
in the
Ashkeeper.
forest.
the location you were given was where the Kwaraska jungle meets the Ashkeeper Peaks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's way further than that.
Past Nicodranus, past the Wuyun Gorge.
But he didn't give us a time frame. He was like, just
He
go
said
there,
as soon
please.
as he said as soon at your
Okay.
earliest convenience.
Oh, and then we said, fuck him, and we're gonna take as much time as we want. Yes,
Yeah.
I remember.
Hey, Scylla, I don't know
Yeah.
things. You might know things.
You know something.
Oh, well, not many. Is there a skyport in Port Zone?
Great question.
Also, is it significantly shorter then to just fly to fucking Port Zone and then go do up the road to this fancy ass whatever the fuck?
What I'm more worried about is flying. And I just spent mostly the rest of our money on the tugboat.
I've got
that's
like
fair.
75 gold left.
No, that's fair. I have two, so that's fair. I
Not
genuinely
that I like walking and getting dart gunned in the throat again, but
I don't remember most.
Why the
things.
fuck would you say that, Scylla?
you jinxed the scythe coming back. I can jinx the dart gun.
I will take dart gun in the throat over
Oh, me too. Me too.
birds and
Oh, birds. Birds will definitely be there,
Fish.
Belle. I can guarantee the birds.
yeah. Well, the scary thing is right now I would take birds over fish, and I feel like I need you to understand what that means to me in this moment.
No, I get that. I feel that.
Okay, never mind.
I'm with
Forget
you
I
on
said
this
that. I forgot that we have to pay for things sometimes. So we're going to wedding, and then from there we go further to castle. Is that am I?
Maybe we'll find money in that, like on the way to wedding, and then we can pay for whatever there.
Sure. Yeah. I just want to make sure I'm not missing a step that happens between here, there, and there.
I'm sure there'll be surprise steps in
I'm sure
between.
there'll be,
Well,
yeah.
surprise steps are fun challenges that are presented to us. I'm talking about things we were planning on doing because, God forbid, I remember the things that we do.
Yes, those are the steps. You are correct.
Okay, great. Cool. Sounds good. So yeah, I mean, then does that sound, I mean, that sounds good. Yeah, just leave in a couple few days, hopefully get to Phelan without any issues at all, and kick it for a day or two get to know Scylla's friends and make sure that there is no awkwardness there at all, because I'm sure there won't be.
They're so they're very friendly. They're very socially awkward though. They're not we were a weird bunch. They're me. They're other me.
Okay, maybe we don't leave early then. Let's just
No, you already said it. You manifested it.
Fuck. So when you say they're you, do you mean they're like scary or like they're just
No, definitely not
Okay.
scary. They're like they're the nice versions of me. I just can't say they'll be like they'll be nice. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I haven't seen them in a few years. Maybe they've gotten much better at their social skills. But when you grow up as like a kid who randomly gets visions, people find you weird. And so then you make best friends with a kid who can do weird magic, and then Porter was there
He's just there.
too.
He's just there.
He didn't. He was just the guy. He was just a little guy.
That's my kind of man right there.
He was the best little guy. He grew a lot, but he was just a little guy.
I was hoping I'd be at eye level with someone. Okay.
No, definitely not. He's pretty tough.
So, I mean, obviously, we need to go find Mom. Then what do we do? What do you want? What should we do for a couple days, Ella? Like you know, the shit.
I mean, I think we should take at least one more day to just be lazy and eat food. I think we
I will
deserve
sleep
that.
and eat for the next 3 days if you fucking tell me to. I'm not.
I mean, I don't want to do anything involving water right now. It feels like a little drama. It was nice when we like first got here, and now it's very not fun. We could try to track down the man on the horse, but I'm not quite sure how successful we'd be. And
Worth a try.
yeah, I feel like we could just have a day where we just like wander a little bit. I like wandering. You like shut your brain off and you just walk.
You do.
I make sure we don't go any dangerous places. But
you do know like 2 places that you used to go to like enjoy yourself and have a good time when you used to live here, as well as the activity that you used to engage in, the sleuth surfing.
Oh, do we have to steal something as well?
That was that those are the options I have prepared. Unless you guys want me to completely make something up, but
Let's go play pickleball.
Fantasy pickleball. It's a real pickle. It's enchanted.
You just hurl pickles at each other.
you know of Kegs, which is a bar and a half casino, and it's got basically a back room with some.
We've been so lucky at casinos as well.
So that's
Every
Kegs.
public establishment.
That's Kegs. And then you would also go. Well, the Brass Record was the other place that
we've been there
because that's all drinks and dancing and music and.
I went to a lot of bars for someone who hasn't been here since they were 16.
That tracks.
It was never about the drink for you. It was always about the atmosphere, and there were no age restrictions on bars.
Mm-hmm.
They just wouldn't serve alcohol to little kids. You
So
could
it's
be
got a
in
little
there
baby
all you
face.
want.
I'm surprised they try to serve alcohol to her now.
Well, Kegs would serve you alcohol, but that was a different story.
So
I don't know. I feel like
do we want to just go back to sleep, or should we find Mom Verado first?
We should definitely find her first and be responsible. I'm sure she definitely was not worried about us this whole time.
Well, I mean, if she hasn't been back here in days, it's possible she has no idea if we're back here or not.
That's true. So she's probably
could just
still
assume
worried.
everything is fine.
Yes, that's a nice option. I like that one. Let's go find Mom.
Okay.
And then we can go back to sleep.
Yeah, that sounds good. Scylla, this might be a strange question, but I feel like someone has to ask it because I don't know that Yvain would right away. Do you have juicy written on your ass? What's going on with these sweatpants that you got going on here? What's the
Look down and I'm like, oh my god. These are reals. When did I was so tired I stole her sweatpants.
She stole the juicy sweatpants.
Those are the comfy ones.
They're always the comfy ones. You might want to just, switch those out.
Not mine. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I feel like I fully steal like a new outfit from.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, there was one already laid out for you.
I feel like I do have to go and I check if it's too mom made, it's like a turtleneck or something.
It's a little she's cool. She's not that cool.
Yeah, I feel like I like go like root through her like
She's a
old stuff
therapist
to
mom,
find
but
like
she's a
you got to find
therapist mom, but she's still a mom.
the band tees and leather jacket. It's like somewhere down there. To find it.
If she didn't take it with her, you take it.
Ah, new Scylla outfit. In all caps.
Rated girlfriend's closet, Scylla. All right. So, are you guys heading to the Bright Star Temple?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you arrive back at the temple. It is just as beautiful as it was. The marble floors, the tall pillars, the vaulted ceilings, the whole kit and caboodle. Are you just going straight back to the to her office, or are you like, how are you handling this?
I feel like Scylla tries to be as respectful as she knows how to be in the temple.
Hmm.
So she does look, and she finds that guard that helped him the first time if he's
That
around.
was Paladin Utgarsh, the half orc.
Yes, I look for him.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Sure. That's +6, right? Yeah. Oh, no, I don't find him. It's the one.
Yeah, looking around, you see one or two people in official robes, but no familiar half orc.
Do they seem to be like running around? Like
They
seem
do
to be like
seem
in it.
they do seem pretty preoccupied with they seem to be each be helping someone at the moment, talking to someone, or one of them is looking over a book of some sort with a patron. So
If it seems like we're not gonna like if it seems like there's no one that's gonna like stop us, Scylla would just lead them to her office.
okay. You don't get you aren't accosted. It seems that that as long as you're not causing outright trouble, you're allowed to pretty much go anywhere in the temple. There doesn't seem to be an off limits section.
Scylla's hood is down this stuff too, so
Gotcha. So you head back to Hannah's office, and you arrive. The door is closed. You give a knock, and a moment or two later, Hannah Alvarado, the human woman, blonde braids hanging around the side, little frizzed out, looks a little hectic, but opens the door and smiles a big relieved smile. I got your note. Thank goodness you're okay. And she gives you a big old hug. Did you? Oh, I see you got the outfit I laid out for you. Not exactly, maybe, but I tried. I'm sorry.
it's too hot to wear a turtleneck. I don't know why you put that out.
It's cute. It's cute. You can wear nice things in the tropics. Anyway, I'm so sorry. I have so many things going on right now. Everything happened with Palma Flora. Nobody. We're trying to house different people, find places for for refugees and people who have been displaced, but and trying to just figure everything out. This is all so sudden. There was no there was no meteorological seeming cause of it. It just seemed to shake and be swallowed up by the sea.
Oh, it was a fish person.
Magic.
Yeah.
The
That
Salgan.
does seem to make the most sense here.
Yeah.
She has
Are you sending like outreach and relief parties out there, like the church specifically?
Not to we're not sending relief parties out to the Flora mainland or to the site. We are currently just handling things in the on the home end, the homeward front. We are parties are being brought back, and there was a ship that came by. I believe it was yesterday that dropped off a whole mess of refugees. That I'm sorry, I am incredibly incredibly fried. I don't think I've slept for about a day and a half, maybe two. Um, yes, a ship arrived yesterday and dropped off several dozen refugees. Then just took off. Said they were going to try to find more back at the site.
Fucking liars. We met them. They suck.
Ooh, well, the refugees were mostly unharmed, and they seem to have survived. Most have survived the ordeal. We have lost quite a few, though. But trying to find them all housing has been quite complicated. But what can I do for all of you?
We just wanted to pop in, say hey. First off, we once again appreciate all that you've done for us. Wanted to sort of give you our, perspective on the story, because we were quite literally there, and potentially have it sounds like that ship did not have a whole lot of information for you past here's a bunch of people, have fun. And when we spoke to them, they had quite a bit more to say. So they were telling us about the very real possibility of several more attacks along, the coastline, and the maybe I'm making this up because of several days of being on the water, around the water, tired and hungry. But did they talk about there being a potential plan to try and sink the peninsula, or did I make that one up, guys?
They're gonna attack the mainland of Pomoflora. Their leader is a young woman, and apparently she is under the influence of some other third party, and she has in her possession a rod of retribution.
You see
Something
her eyes kind of like glimmer in recognition for a moment. Just, I see.
And we've been trying to get this information to the correct authority, but no one really seems to be taking us seriously.
I submitted a 27-page police report the other day.
I'm sure that'll be very helpful, Belle.
That's exactly what we thought.
Excellent.
As far as we got with them.
She, one moment, please. And she goes kind of under her desk, pulls out a book, and begins flipping through it. You said it was called A Rod of Retribution?
Yeah, that's what the captain said of the Wayfarer.
Huh. She kind of flips through the book and goes, This is a record of known magical mysteries and mysterious happenings in surrounding the Menagerie Coast, and it says here it looks to be some sort of item that can help control the sea, some kind. Perhaps. No. It seems that it controls lightning of some sort. But, that's all it says here. Nothing very helpful, just a description of what it looks like and what it's done, and that's apparently created waves, shocked people, and that it has that it's made out of adamantine, which seems.
Pirates insinuated it what were they talking about?
Pirates.
It moved tectonic plates.
Made like the
probably,
earthquake,
but
yeah.
The idea is that it probably assisted them in sinking the island.
I see. And this is in the possession of a young woman?
The elected leader of the Saugen? This
Maybe
is
less
all
elected, but
third hand. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
My, this sounds incredibly complicated.
Yeah, probably.
That's why we left.
Yeah, they almost definitely were trying to. I am choosing to believe it's probably a misplaced belief that they were trying to, mark it up, make it sound a little bit more flashy to convince us to dive to the bottom of the ocean and get it back. But
I see.
also, the island did in fact sink while we were on it, so
Not quite a normal thing to happen.
no, I didn't think so.
Right. Well, I can. I'm not in charge here. I'm a middle rank, if anything. I can run it up the flagpole and see what shakes out the tree, but I'm not sure it'll really get to the important ears any faster than your report.
That is fine. We're just trying to open as many
We have to
avenues as we
try.
can
Yeah.
and see which
Understood.
one
Well,
takes it to the top fastest.
I do greatly admire your persistence and your efforts to try to do something right. And I have to say, I also agree with your decision not to work with these people. They seem, from what you told me, they seem dubious, to say the least. But
Yeah, that's okay.
We got mom's approval. It was okay.
Yeah. Are there people here that need help, healing, anything?
oh, always.
We
We
can
have
always
an
help with that.
infirmary. We have an infirmary, and it's been full up of refugees.
All right.
You want
Sounds
to do
good.
some volunteer work, Phil?
Well,
Oh, are you a cleric, young
yeah.
man?
He doesn't know.
No.
Don't ask him that question.
I'm not a wizard. I know that much. A fun man told me that I was a sorcerer, but I fix people and stuff. So
He brought someone back from the dead.
one time.
Ah, the divine soul.
Sure. I thought I was a halfling, but that sounds good too.
Are you not familiar?
I love so much about you. I need you to understand that. So when I tell you that I couldn't understand what you're saying less, I need you to believe me in every facet of what I'm saying. I bought a book about wizard stuff because I thought it would tell me why I can do magic.
In a very
Let me
long
just
conversation.
make sure that I have all the facts here.
Yes.
All right. You are a healer.
I can heal people. Yes.
You are not a cleric.
I have been in churches
You have
9
not taken
times.
You have not taken clerical rites. You have not
I don't think so.
taken any commitment to any god.
I don't think so. My
Okay.
dad used to go to the Stormlord, but that's about what I got.
Right.
He was on a boat and stuff. So
You've not taken any paladin's rites.
what's a paladin?
Right. And someone's told you that you're a sorcerer.
He said I was like him and that he was a sorcerer.
This is that purple guy from Milan.
Yeah.
Sean Gilmore.
Gilmore. I remember his name. It's just more fun to say the purple guy.
Sean Gilmore of Gilmore's Glorious Goods.
Yeah, that one.
That's him.
We have one being built in town. That's so nice. I'm sorry.
He's a nice guy, honestly.
You met him.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He told us our souls are fucked up. That was
Yeah.
fun.
Oh dear.
That was a fun little excursion.
Souls, though. That's number 3. A sorcerer who can heal, never been pledged to a god, and has something done with their soul. So maybe it's 4 things.
I don't think I did anything with my soul.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is something that I've only ever heard of. I've read about it a few places in my studies to try and help people deal with whatever life throws at them. And this is a condition called a divine soul, where the soul of an individual will come into contact with a great divine magic of some sort, whether that be a natural introduction or an unnatural introduction. A great divine power touches the soul, and what remains in the soul is a certain mote of divinity, allowing access to certain magics, certain insights into different aspects of the world, abilities that can come, go, and grow as you get older. But it is a very rare condition.
You're special,
So
I'd say you are about one in about 400 in the whole world.
You're so special, though.
there are more people like this, and I haven't run into them yet.
There are millions and billions and billions of people on this planet, Belvin.
That doesn't seem right. There's a lot of that's a big number.
There's
At least 7.
There are millions in this city.
How many commas is that?
3?
Well, not quite
3?
a million, actually. It's only 82,000.
So how do I fix that?
Oh, darling, I'm so sorry. There's no cure, to be precise.
So it's like if you lost a hand or something. But instead I got a third one that grew out of my chest.
It's more like a diagnosis of depression or anxiety. It's not something you can cure or completely eradicate, but something you can learn to work around, work with, or cope with throughout your life. Sometimes it can even be brought to your own advantage. I mean, it seems like you've already seemed to corral some of the healing elements.
Yeah, we're figuring that one out. So there's stuff we need to get to, but and stuff you need to get back to, I'm sure. So if I grew up in a little fishing village, and then I just like left one day and like walked around on the road for a while, met some people, and then I came back and I met these guys, and I never came into contact with like an angel or a unicorn or a god or I don't know, the best fucking chef in the world or something.
You didn't meet Gordon Ramsay?
No, not this time. Where's the whole like bit where like a fucking angel punches me in the face or whatever?
There is a great much that I could say about that, but I'll say this much. Not every god, angel, or divine deity that you come across is going to make itself appear to be as such. You never know.
What if it was that barrel guy?
You never know.
I was doing magic before him.
You never know who might be more than they appear. For instance, and she kind of undoes a clasp on the top of her her robe, kind of pulls it down to the side, and you see
Mom!
As Scylla covers her eyes, you see the beginning of a tattoo. That kind of snake, you see, it looks like the top of a rose bush. That kind of
How did you
snake
get that?
Oh, darling.
No, I don't like how you respond to
We
that.
all
No.
contain we all contain multitudes, and not everyone is exactly as they seem. Some that may go far deeper than you would expect. Don't. You might not want to trust everyone that you see.
Oh, I'm quickly learning that one. Okay. I feel like this is a conversation that we can continue at a later time.
I'm so sorry if I sprung this on you.
No. I don't want to take up more of your time while you're trying to like, do your thing
Oh.
and get back from not sleeping for like 36 hours.
I must be honest. My passion is the humanoid psyche, and all of its various quirks and defects, and this has been a happy distraction from managing refugee housing.
Well, Very fair. You're welcome to kick around in my brain whenever you want.
I would love
You
to
want
have
us
you
to
in.
like barricade the door and you can take like a cat nap or something?
Oh, I wish. I wish I could.
Do you want to take a cat nap?
Oh yeah,
Like a
you
cat?
go. You give you
Why are
lots
you
of
just
cats. You can take a
carrying around
legit
a
cat.
cat in a bag? What are you doing?
It's a lots of cats.
There's
in the
as
bag.
many in here.
What? Oh, she's
Zilla
just
told me they have a hotel in there, so
as cats, like just oh, she is just oh my good. I could use this for patience. Oh, she's just like
Oh
covered
yeah,
in
that
cat.
would be very nice.
What's-
yeah. I mean,
oh,
we can leave a bunch of them here for you if you want. They can just
I, I'm so sorry. I can't. She's just
okay.
overwhelmed.
Back in the bag. Back in the bag.
Yeah, your vein
Bag.
helps put the cats back.
I can leave. I
What
can
is
leave
that?
Ellie here with you though, if you would like a cat for the day. She can
Oh,
fly too.
oh, she has feathers. That's
Yeah, don't think about it too hard. I can't think about it too hard either.
okay. Hi,
She's
Ellie.
very nice.
Ellie kind of just.
Ellie can stay with her for the day.
All right. Right. Well, Mr. Elderberry, if you'd ever like to have a session, feel
Sure.
free to come in and we can talk for an hour or so and see if we can get to the bottom of whatever is going on.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I'd have no problem with that in the slightest because, in spite of the fact that you just told us not to trust everybody we meet, you have done nothing but be nice to us so far and haven't tried to kill us yet. So,
And
you know.
and that's how you can tell who to trust.
Got it.
Writes it down. Right. Well, I'm so sorry. I do need to get back to work.
Yeah.
I
Which
will
way
be
to the
home-
infirmary?
Say again?
Which way to the infirmary?
Oh, it's just up the stairs. They will not let you in, and she reaches into her desk and kind of pulls out a piece of parchment, scribbles something on it. Without this, the infirmary is one of the few off limits areas in the temple, but as long as they know you're there to help.
Okay. Sounds good.
Right.
Yeah. We're sticking around for at least a few more days, so
Oh, excellent. Right.
no more excursions outside of the city. Right, Scylla?
No.
Cool. Sounds good.
Hannah, could we perhaps speak later?
Of course, darling.
Just let me know when you're available.
Of course. I should be arriving home later tonight for dinner. If you'd like to speak after that, we can have some tea.
Sure. Yes.
Therapy.
All right. Well, I must get back to work, but
Of course.
I will see you all tonight for dinner.
Yeah. See you then.
All right. As you guys
As
exit
we
the
leave,
office,
as they leave, they walk out, and I like stop in the doorway, and then I run back and I give her another hug.
she gives you a big old squeeze and a kiss on the head.
And I'm like,
She just whispers, "You're doing great, darling."
thank you.
You such a good job.
All right. And there we are going to take a pause for a little bio break. And we'll be back here in about 5-10 minutes.
Sure.
All right. See you soon. All right.
Oh, but-
Now that we've officially scheduled 2 of you for therapy sessions,
Philip will never go.
Belvin,
It
yeah,
feels like a
Belvin's
conflict
never,
of interest.
Belvin's never gonna go. What would you guys? Is there anything you guys would like to do between now and dinner tonight with the Alvarados, or do you guys just want
We're
to?
going healing.
Hmm?
We're going healing, me and Belle. I'm not sure how much you can get up with that, but
I'm proficient in medicine, actually.
Yvain is
Well,
just a licensed chiropractor. Just
I
because I'm like,
I have a
"Okay."
healer's kit. I can help.
Okay, well, Belle, Yvain, and Scylla, the 3 of you go and how long do you spend in the infirmary?
I mean, I can do the official math for you, but however long it will take me to spend every spell slot and every sorcery point that I have healing people.
I was gonna say
Okay.
that as well. Yeah.
So, okay, you go through and spend a good about like 2 hours, I'd say 2 to 2.5 hours, just going from bed to bed and seeing what you can do. Um, a good amount of these people have already received the standard healing magics that clerics can provide. However, the extra boost that you are able to give does seem to do a lot of good. If in like in the smallest cases it relieves pain. You seem to bring a lot of comfort to a lot of people. And in one in one event, you are actually able to regrow the digit of a man's finger that he lost. So,
Nice.
but yeah,
Nice.
you are
I'm sleepy.
spent.
I'm
You are
sleepy.
spent. If you have no spell slots or sorcery points left.
Nope, burned every single one of them.
Okay. You are like borderline taking an exhaustion point. Like you're not
Yep.
there yet, but you are oh so tired and so hungry. You feel like you haven't eaten in days.
There's a place that can solve this problem for me.
Belt, you have to hang on. You have to hang on so you don't fall off of me.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Sorry.
Okay, so you still have a few hours before dinner if there's anything else you guys wanted to get done.
I would like to accomplish horizontal.
All right. So you guys head back to the
I don't know what other
Alvarados
people want
then.
to do, but
You guys head back to the Alvarados and rest up. Dinner time comes. You all enjoy a delicious dinner of what looks to be assorted dinner rolls that have been stuffed with different kinds of meats and different kinds of fillings. It's something that Mauro's experimenting with. It's an entire meal, but served in little bowls of very doughy sweet of doughy bread. And sometimes it's more savory, sometimes it's more sweet, depending on what you want.
Did this man invent chicken pot pie? I need to know. Is he
you
going
mentioned
to
hot
invent chicken
pockets.
pot
Basically, they're
Fucking hot
they're
pockets.
hot pockets, but they look almost more like bao buns. Like they're just kind of like just
That sounds
balls.
delicious. Matt, can you just stop making up fake food? It's 1 a.m.
Dude, I just like the way I my secret. You want to know my secret? Get the munchies before you play. But okay. So you guys have a wonderful dinner. And afterwards, Yvain, you and Hannah have a seat in two comfy chairs in a sitting room by the fire. She pours you a cup of tea. Is it just the two of you, or did you invite Scylla and Belle along?
Just the two of us.
Okay.
I'm going to bed.
Okay. Belle is
Please and
already
thank you.
Belle is already asleep. Scylla will get to you in a bit. So, darling, how can I help you? What can I do for you?
I'm a little hesitant to tell you this because okay,
Well,
I'll just get to it. We had in our possession a scythe called the Season's Fear, and it was very clearly infernal in nature, and it eventually caught up to us on the Flora Isle, and it possessed me for a time. And Scylla was able to sever the connection. I'm no longer under its influence, but I can still speak and read infernal. So I am wondering if you can tell if it's still with me.
well, first of all, how are you feeling? I mean, that sounds like an incredibly traumatic experience for the both of you. If what I'm understanding is correct, you may have done some things that you weren't in full control of.
No, I hurt Scylla.
How are you feeling? And what Tell me what kind of things you're experiencing in this moment.
Yvain looks confused and uncomfortable. She's like, what the fuck do you mean? How am I feeling? I feel fucking awful. I feel guilty. I feel like I want to do something stupid. I feel awful. I just, why does that matter?
Well, because you matter. How you process trauma defines who we are as people. And, well, of course you went through, something terrible happened. Perhaps you made a mistake, perhaps it wasn't your fault. But something terrible happened, and it happened to you. That's going to leave a mark. How you deal with that mark is going to have more of an impact on your life than the actual event, if that will make more sense, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. I know that I can't make up for it. I can't take it back, but I don't want it to happen again, and I don't want this to have I don't want the lasting consequences to affect anyone else but me.
That is a very admirable way of thinking. Don't hold blame for your emotions. There is no right way to feel in any particular situation. Just be sure you're giving yourself the space to properly honor your feelings. With that being said, as far as any infernal remnants, there are a spell or two that I can cast to see if I can detect anything. But not all things are conclusive. What exactly you said you can read and write infernal now when you couldn't before?
No, I couldn't before. I was also hearing a voice when I had the scythe.
All right. Have you heard the voice since? You got rid of the scythe. Scylla, you said Scylla was able to.
Yeah, she threw it off of a ship, and as soon as the connection was severed, I started to take damage. I bled out. I almost bled to death.
Well, you use the word possession.
It's just I don't know how else to describe it. I wasn't myself. I the more that I fought, the less I was me until my consciousness wasn't there anymore.
It was almost like you were sat in a little room watching what was watching through your own eyes as someone else controlled.
Yeah.
That does seem to fit the description of possession. The voice. Have you heard it since you got rid of the scythe?
Has she?
You have not.
No.
Well, that's a good sign. Allow me to just. She rolls up her sleeves. May I? She takes your hands, closes her eyes, mutters some words under her breath, and you see her eyes open, and they are bright white, glowing with a soft white light. And you see her eyes, you can kind of almost feel her gaze piercing through you and kind of just looking to your core. And she blinks her eyes again. Her eyes are back to her own. Well, I can say that I detect no hellish, demonic, or infernal presence. Not coming from you, anyway.
Is there one somewhere else?
None that are unfamiliar. I believe one of my neighbors is a tiefling.
Oh. Okay, that's good. Yeah.
I think what I can. This is a hypothesis, mind you. I give no guarantees. There are some pieces of magic and magical items in the world of Exandria that are more than just mundane objects given, you know, uh, that have had spells cast on them or magic worked into them. Some, some are, some hold within them consciousness, whether it be consciousness of their own or another entity, can vary, but that would be the only reason I would think of you to hear a voice. Now, infernal would lead me to believe that we're dealing with something from the hells. And that could be any number of things. There are an unknown number of entities that call the hells, the nine hells home. And any number of motives that any one of them could have either enchanted this object or sealed something within it or created it themselves to have its own consciousness. But those objects often draw from the user, especially if they have an ulterior motive. So perhaps there have been some scars left upon you by your use and contact with this object. But from what I can tell, your connection is well and truly severed.
She breathes a huge sigh of relief and her shoulders kind of relax and she just sinks into the chair.
She squeezes she just squeezes your hand and nods.
Thank you. Thank you. That is of great comfort.
Of course, my dear. That'll be 500 gold.
Will you take installments?
It's I little joke. I'm glad that someone who I see as one of my children travels with companions such as you. I'm very glad to have her with someone of your character.
Yvain almost cries. She almost cries, but she keeps it in. Thanks. She kind of flabbergasted. She's like, I told you I almost killed your kid. She's flabbergasted right now. She doesn't say that out loud. Thank you. This is really good tea.
She just hands you a handkerchief, doesn't say a word, just hands you a handkerchief. Thank you. It's oolong. Now, tell me something. What are you going to be wearing to the wedding?
A suit
Ah, dapper young miss.
with heels, which I've had to learn to walk in.
Oh, that is incredible. Oh, I've always wanted to try a suit. But I love a ball gown far too much. It's just such a... I love to twirl. You guys...
Yeah, we chat.
You guys continue your chat into the evening. Belle is been snoring for the last several hours. Scylla, what are you up to anything, or are you just hanging out?
Um, I think Scylla's in her usual staring at a wall state, but I think she's oh god, I
In
want to like
Ray's room?
probably
Yeah.
yeah, and I think she's been staring at her bookcase for like at least 2 hours now.
Mhm.
Um, and I think I'm gonna roll a check to see if Scylla has the restraint to not read her to read her diary, or if she doesn't.
Go ahead.
What do you think I should roll for this? I don't want to add anything to it. I just want to see, like, is it 1 to 10? I do it. 11
Evens
to
or
20. I
odds?
don't.
Evens or odds? That's what I like.
Okay. Okay. Evens I don't. Odds I do. It's an odd. It's 19.
You did it. You're doing it. So she has several journals, as you know, she kept them nigh on religiously, although she hated it when you use that term. Uh, and you see them all very neatly laid out on her bookshelf, all dated and and labeled. So, which portion of her life are you snooping through?
I feel like she's way too scared to like reach for the last one.
Hmm.
So I think she like thinks of like maybe a year that she knew was like really good for them and just has like a little nice little walk down memory lane. She's way too scared to touch that last one. She's not going to do it to herself.
So you read, you pick you decide to go with the point in time where you guys first met and you first started to really spend time together. You come across entries talking about the early adventures that you guys had, going on walks, introducing her to Tally and Porter, showing her all of your spots around the city. She was kind of a I don't want to say closeted, but kind of a sheltered kid.
Double
she's
meaning.
she's kind of a sheltered kid for a lot of her early youth and childhood. But when she met you, she was her parents felt she met someone they were comfortable with, allowing her to branch out with to help her explore more. And uh, it's around this time that she's just very happy to have a new friend, and is always seems to end each entry with an air of excitement for the next one.
Yeah, I think so. Like, just reads that and just like very carefully puts it back and then goes to bed feeling a little lighter and while staring at the last one on the bookshelf.
um as you're kind of like putting it, like setting it back, you hear a soft knock behind you, and you turn to see Hannah in the doorway with a cup of tea. Hi, is now a bad time?
It's fine.
Well, I wanted to bring you this, and she sets the cup of tea down on the bedside table and sits down on the bed, pats the covers next to her. Come, sit.
She still looks like a little like, oh god. She'll sit down.
So, I just spoke with your friend downstairs, Yvain. Yvain, is that how you pronounce it?
Mhm.
Hmm. She mentioned that you all went through a bit of a traumatic experience at on the island, and she was having a difficult time dealing with it, and I wanted to check on you.
Um, I feel like you've known me a very long time, and you know that I take very long to
Process.
process stuff like this. Um, well, we talked it out a little bit.
You don't need to.
Um,
You don't need to have an answer for me. I just wanted to make sure to remind you to be kind to my little girl. All right? Don't be too hard on yourself.
oh, we were talking about me. Okay.
Don't be too hard on yourself, please.
I try, but
I know it's hard.
yeah.
It's never easy. It's never easy to do the better thing for yourself. It's always easy to think about others. Why do you think I'm here instead of in bed? Try to forgive yourself too. All right?
That one's a little hard.
I know. But try. That's all anyone can ask you is to try your hard, is to try your best. Success is not a necessity. Success is whatever you see as success. It's all right. It's all right. You don't need to say anything. Just try to remember that, all right? When you're talking to yourself, try to think of what I'd say.
Mom's voice in the head. All
There you go. She gives you a kiss on the forehead. Good night, sweetheart.
And she like walks away, and she's like almost at the door, so like runs up and gives her a hug around her back, and she just says, "I very much enjoyed being back around you."
She kind of turns in your embrace, not breaking your contact, just kind of gives you a squeeze and says, "We're very glad to have you back." And you can hear a bit of a catch in her voice as well.
Mhm. So like backs up and like pretends she wasn't crying a little bit, and so,
She takes a handkerchief and just,
yeah,
good
we're
night,
good.
dear.
We're good. We're good.
We're
Good
good. We're
night.
good. We're fine. Good night.
Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Yeah, we did it.
All right. You all find yourselves to a long night's rest. Belle, you get everything back. Oh my god. But yeah, you guys have a few more days. Anything you guys would like to get done before you head off, or do you want to jump forward to heading out toward Phelan?
I feel like one day Scylla does sneak out and like turns into a bird or something and flies down, um and just kind of sits across the street from the orphanage and just kind of like watches for a little while.
It is much as you remember it. It's a it's an old building. It was an old building when it was first turned into an orphanage for the Stone family. And now, or when it was first turned into an orphanage, and then when Mr. Stone, the patron, bought the building and the company that ran it, they did what they could to make it more comfortable because they couldn't completely tear it down and rebuild. So it's a cold, wet, and kind of sticky is the word to describe it. It gets so muggy in there because it's just not properly insulated, or there's no way for air to really get circulated, so it just gets very thick and muggy in there, especially during the hotter times of the year. But there's light through the windows. You can hear voices of children laughing and shouting at each other. you see, as you're perched across the street, you look up to the roof, to the spot where you, Talia and Porter, and would always kind of sneak up to do whatever bad kids do. Yeah, when they're all alone at night, and you see two orphans up there in that spot, seemingly kind of looking at a book or of some kind, just kind of like both hovering over it very intently.
Um, yeah, I feel like Scylla just, sits there for a while, just does some people watching, and then feels that immense need of herself to leave all of the rest of her money at the orphanage, and then decides that that's a bad idea for once.
You kind of perch on the PFSO1 sign outside the front, and you're just kind of like, fuck, flaps away.
Yeah, and then I do toss a gold up to the kids that are on the roof. I just say, you picked a good spot.
As you or as?
Oh yeah, no.
Okay,
yeah.
so it's about like 2-3 stories up. Are you just gonna like?
I tossed that shit.
Are you just gonna like? Hey. Just toss a
Yeet.
gold coin up.
Just get after it.
Hey, go ahead and make an attack roll for me.
Why don't we say as a bird? I went up there.
Just
I
drop.
landed on the roof. Yeah, and then
Okay.
and I scared the shit out of them because that brings me joy a little bit.
Beautiful. Yeah. They go. Almost fall off the roof. Have a very tense moment of one dangling by the other. Very, long live the king.
Mhm.
But yeah. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to get done?
Oh, I'll go play medic the rest of the days that we're here.
Really?
Yep.
So every day are you going just as hard as you were that first day?
I'll spread it out over the course of the day, but yeah, pretty much.
You're using all spell slots.
Yep, we'll just fucking tip me over and pour me out.
Okay. For like 3 days, 4 days?
Fucking when are we leaving? Scylla, when do we need to leave?
I would say like 2 days to make just in case.
Okay, for the next 2 days, I will not do it. If we don't leave in the morning on whatever day we're leaving, I won't do it that day.
Okay.
But the days that we're just in town, we will.
Okay, so for 3 days you've been doing this. I'm gonna say you're like,
fucking hit me with it. I'll keep a third level slot each one of the days, like just to have a thing on me somewhere as a small man all by himself. But
because like the way I like to rule magic is that it takes energy to use.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, using every single bit of your magical ability every single day feels like it's gonna really take it out of you. I kind of want to give you like 2 points of exhaustion.
That's fine. Fucking do it.
For using every single drop of your magical ability within the span of 2 days, like, is just like every day, just like fucking emptying it out. Jesus.
Exhaustion.
Every day of our life.
I am a sleepy.
I'm so sleepy.
The missile is EP.
Yeah. Yeah. So in part to help out, in part to put myself like around it in the hopes of like kind of understanding a little bit better, like routinely using it in some way here. And then
the life force thing?
To just like all of it, like to kind of, I don't use magic in calm situations typically. So like,
so you're trying to kind of explore that.
Yeah, it'll be part of that. It'll be part I want to help out, and it'll be part feeling a certain amount of guilt for quote unquote abandoning the people that were on the boat with us when we got kicked off of it.
Go ahead and give me 3 consecutive Arcana checks.
You got it. You want me to be exhausted for him?
No, there's no no, not really, because this is all you're focusing on.
Okay, cool. And I have to take that off for just a second. 1. Maybe. There we go. 7. No, 8. 2. 18. And 3. 11.
Okay. So, after these 3 days, all of the magic that you've used at this point, you have now got a pretty firm understanding of. You have really kind of like bent your nose to the grindstone a little bit here and really tried to focus up. And you've realized, A, how a lot of your magic works and how to access it a lot easier. And
Cool.
B, you've understood that you are now not just taking from a font of magic, but that font of magic is literally your soul essence and life force. And so that is probably something you should be a little more careful about doling out to every single person you meet.
We don't temper expectations here.
And you've also discovered one new if you haven't been using any of your spells because we haven't discovered them yet.
There's one of them. It is not on the cleric list though.
That's
like
fine.
It doesn't come from that. Okay,
that's fine.
Cool.
Because at this point you are better understanding not just how your healing magic works, but how your magic in general works. Because as you're using it for healing, you start thinking about, okay, well, I'm getting it with this. What if I tried doing it in it? What you're trying to think? You're thinking about, what if I experimented with this? What if I pulled it out in this way? What if I shifted it in that way? You know, you're kind of trying to like, as you're healing, you're just in the back of your head, just kind of going through what exactly it is you're doing and trying to analyze it and trying to understand it. And as you do, you're understanding, okay, so this works like this. And if I do this, so you get one spell that
Cool.
if you haven't used yet.
Yeah, good news. I know counterspell now.
There you go, bud. Still haven't tried it yet. But you have the theory. It's basically like you've read the book. You have now got to put it into action. But
that's all right.
Was there anything else that anyone wanted to get done? Scylla's done a thing. Belle's done a thing. Yvain, any things you wanted to do?
Yeah, I'll do a thing. So she's gonna do it. I'll do the thing now. She is gonna try to find a place where she is certain that she is totally alone.
Okay. You let me see. Okay. You go to the Tumble Downs and you find this abandoned dock. And you go out to the very end of it and you turn around so your back is to the sea, your back is to the ocean, and you look back and there is nobody within eyesight. You cannot make a perception check for me.
Okay.
Let's be 110% sure of this.
No. Come on. Oh God, Yvain. 5.
So you see a tumbleweed.
Nice.
What a tumbleweed is doing on the beach, I don't know. But you are all alone.
Good. So she's finally going to read the letter that Habak dropped off a little while ago. And I did prepare something for this just because I thought there'd be more entertainment value than big sad. Many field. So she sits down.
Is this the letter from your father?
Yes.
Okay.
And she pulls from the bag of holding the letter that Habak delivered a few days ago. She'd been really excited when it first arrived, but also very anxious because she knew that her father's words, kind or cruel, would likely be the thing to finally break the dam that is holding back her grief. She didn't want anyone else getting caught up in the flood, especially not Scylla, who was already treading her own water. Besides, there were things like beach sunsets and warm pies to distract her, and she wanted to enjoy the peace they brought a little while longer. So she decided that she was going to wait to read it until she was on the road, or if she could be alone like this. It would be easier to hide any rogue tears, during a moment like this or during one of her watches. Father-daughter disagreements are a tale as old as time, but Yvain and Varix could fill volumes. No, lamb was not better than fish. No, she absolutely could not go on a hunting trip with that boy alone, even if they were just friends. And no, she could not try Granny Ygritte's hallucinogens. They were strictly ceremonial. Yvain's decision to run away from home at 17 was born from such a disagreement, and to this day, she wishes she could take back the awful things she said during that fight. To most people in Exandria, Yvain looks enormous, but by Goliath standards, she's actually pretty petite. As a kid, she was a gangly little string bean, and she had to work very hard over many years to build up the muscle definition that she has now. Because of this, her older brothers always told her she'd grow up to be the River Maud's most useless bowstring. This caused her to push herself beyond what most of her peers could stand in terms of pain. Whether it was fighting, hunting, or sitting for a tattoo, she never backed down, never complained, and she's never cried. That's why the Rivermaw elders gave her the name Stoneflower. She might look delicate, but she can endure just about anything. Varric disapproved of this name. His opinion didn't matter much to the elders, but he made his feelings known anyway. He thought that Stoneflower would push Yvain to seek out even bigger fights, put herself in even more dangerous situations, and bury her pain even deeper. And he was right. Formerly named Rivermaw are considered adults who can choose how to represent the tribe, and after her name day, Yvain chose to follow the path of the warrior. She gleefully declared that she was going to move to Amon and train to fight in the Gods' Brawl. Despite his mother's warnings, Varric immediately tried to dissuade Yvain from following this path. It wasn't because she was smaller than most Goliath or that she was his youngest child and only daughter. He'd actually had a very similar conversation to his largest and eldest son, Gareth, many years prior. No, his concerns went much deeper than that. One, she wasn't going to Amon for the right reasons. She wasn't trying to be strong for her people or for the sake of protecting the weak. She was trying to boost her own ego. She was a wild, spiteful teenager trying to prove that she was better than what other people thought of her, and that could be used against her. Two, who Yvain was as a person would be at direct odds with the kind of things that might be asked of her. Her instincts were to appreciate the color of a snake's scales rather than kill it before it bit her, and Varric liked that about her, and he didn't want to see her lose that kind, inquisitive nature to the ill intentions of others. That, of course, wasn't how he'd phrased it. He said that her desires were altogether foolish and that she couldn't possibly understand what she was asking for. Yvain had taken his disapproval hard. She perceived it as him not believing in her, and it only made her resolve to leave even stronger. Following their argument, she packed her things and left in the middle of the night without saying goodbye to anyone. She didn't even write home to let anyone know that she was alive until she'd already been settled in Milan for a few months. After that, her letters were more or less consistent, but relatively sparse in detail. Her family heard more about her fighting career from travelers than from Yvain herself. When she returned to her people out of the blue, years later, there were no I told you so's or other such admonishments from Varric. Only tight hugs and knowing silences. He was never looking to be proven right. He and his wife asked questions that received vague answers. They pushed a little, but not too much. They were happy to have her around, and they didn't want to scare her away. Besides, they knew that she'd tell them what had brought her back when she was ready. In the letter that Yvain wrote to her father in Whitestone, she apologized for their big fight and for leaving the way she did. She told him that he'd been right all along, but that she was certain it was too late for her to be anything other than a mercenary now. And for once, she told him about everything that was happening with her, about her new friends, Belle and Scylla, about what happened with Ulrich and Theo, about the mysterious Dr. Winters and her theory that he might be responsible for their newfound powers. His response now rests between her fingers. She opens it, slowly and carefully, to brace for whatever's inside. As his sprawling script comes into view, the tension in her shoulders eases. His steady words are kind and understanding, tinged with nothing but unconditional love. She hears his voice in her mind like the rumble of a distant storm, and for a moment she feels truly safe. Tears start to well in her eyes at one section in particular. I mourn to read of what you experienced at the hands of Ulfric, and my hammer yearns for the crunch of skulls knowing that he harmed our blood. But my bloodlust is tempered by the knowledge that you have dispatched this wretch from this mortal plane, and it is replaced by heartache. To kill, not in the heat of battle or adrenaline, but in a calculated act, is no small occurrence. Your grandfather once told me that anyone who takes a life while not in the heat of battle must sacrifice a scrap of their soul to do so. Regardless of the reason, whether to protect or take vengeance, a small piece of us dies with our victim. He told me that if too much of our soul is ripped away, we become numb to the pain of others. We become cruel, and Kuliak becomes an ally and welcome friend instead of a respected adversary. You've lost a scrap of your soul, and I can only imagine the great storm of emotions toiling away in your heart right now, my little blossom. But one thing I do know is that you are strong, stronger than you know. You've conquered monumental hardships in the past, and I have faith that you will be able to conquer this one. Just know that you will always have a home where you are loved and safe here with the tribe. By the time she has finished reading the entire letter, she is truly undone. As she tucks it back into the bag of holding, she begins to cry in earnest. Deep, heavy sobs rip through her as she curls her arms around her knees. There are tears for choosing the wrong father, for leaving Lisette behind twice, for ruining Theo's life, for letting Ulfric live too long, and for killing him. But gods above all else, there are tears for Scylla. Yvain remembers the inexplicable, undeniable joy she felt while attacking her friend. She'd seen Scylla's confused expression twist into anger and hurt and fear, but it hadn't mattered to her in the slightest. She just wanted to keep feeling the rush that came with cutting someone down. All of their shared trust, carefully built over many late-night talks, toppled in an instant by her bloodlust. And gods, despite the horror of it all, it had felt so good. Ulfric's voice echoes in her mind again. That's who you are, and that's who you'll always be. His swollen purple face and pleading eyes flash in her mind. She'd felt that twisted satisfaction then, too. Maybe Ulfric and her father were both right in a way. Maybe she'd been born a sweet kid destined to lose too much of her soul from the start. She understands now why Grandma Linda turned herself into a tree. She'd give anything to be a tree right now. Big sad, many feelings.
Jesus Christ, Erica.
Wow.
Oh, man. I wrote the fucking letter, and damn, dude. Oh, man. You sit at the edge of this dock and just let the pain of the last few years just drain out of your tear ducts. Feels like you may have added a few gallons to the ocean today. But as you stand and stretch and start walking back towards town, you feel somewhat lighter. And you feel like you walk with new direction. And I think that's a good place to stop for the night. This has been quite the session.
Fuck, dude.
Man, Scylla, Alex, when you gave me an NPC that was a cleric, I was just like, fuck it, I'll make her a therapist. Didn't foresee this, but then like the second I saw it coming, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go all in on this bitch. Oh God. Well,
We need the therapy. None of us will accept what that woman just said to us, but
Not a goddamn word.
Nope, didn't get through it all.
she was like, be nice to yourself. So I was like,
Skulls of diamond, all of you.
I will not give up my angsty character just because my mom said I need to stop being sad.
Because, she thinks it works like that. She knows it works like that, right? Stop being sad. Okay.
Just stop it. Just cut it out.
Thanks, I'm fixed now.
Put it away.
All right, well, I think I'm going to stop the recording there. So everyone say bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.